Hey everyone, welcome back to my video series where we look at the fit out and build of my second semi-trailer. So since the first episode, I've done a lot of work on the bedroom and the bathroom, so let's just jump straight in and have a look. Well, it's just another beautiful and serene evening here. It's one of the reasons why we love it so much. It's so very peaceful. It's just beautiful here tonight. Anyways, let's have a quick recap of what I got up to in the last episode, and then we'll jump straight into this new work. So in the first episode, we had a quick tour of the future bedroom along with the wall bed. And then we headed into the bathroom to have a look at the space that's going to be for our proposed bath and toilet. And then we nicked in for a quick look at the storage room. But we're focusing on the bedroom and the bathroom today, so let's just dive right in. All right, so it's time to get this bathroom setup going. We want to get these toilets in action, so I think that's what I'm going to start working on first. Just got to work on these walls, bug up holes, and do what we did on this other wall. And that will require me removing these steel racking from the walls. Through the wisdom of the internet, I learned that I was doing it the hard way before with my angle grinder, trying to remove all these rivets when I could just be using a hammer and a chisel, and it comes away with about 3 swift hits, much easier. So my technique is pretty simple. Just apply the strokes randomly and creatively. Applying it thinly because you don't want to waste too much of your concrete render material, nor do you want to spend too much time sanding it back. All right, so we've got this part of the wall completed. I've done sort of the render over top of everything, sanded it back so that it's kind of smooth, and now it just needs a coat of paint to seal it up, and we'll be able to get rid of a lot of this kind of bluey color you can still see through. And next up is these walls. So I'm basically just starting to line this room. So I'm just keeping it super simple with this wall. I'm just going to fill it in with a bit of insulation so that we have a nice bit of soundproofing for guests or whoever's in this room from the toilet. And yeah, just using some MDF, which I've used everywhere else because it's cheap and easy to work with. The only little tweak that I had to do was that because we got this cabinet and I know how tall it is now, the PowerPoint that I had put in here was a little bit too low, so I just had to reorganize that. So now we can fill in this wall and get it done. So as with the other trailer, there's always the challenge in an old semi-trailer that you will have to cut things in funny ways. And, you know, as we can see over in this wall here, you know, like I've cut it pretty flush to size. But if you actually put a level against that, it's not straight at all. So I'm having to cut to the curve. As you can see up top here, which is a good example, it just makes it a little bit easier because you have nothing that's really true right angles. So you're having to do a lot of custom cutting, which takes a lot longer. So here I am, just doing a bit more of the wall prep for this bedroom wall, the kind of natural, I guess, Tadalact kind of rendered wall look, or Adobe wall look if you want to look at that way. One thing that's very satisfying about doing this particular type of stuff is that if you look at the quality of the the wall that I'm dealing with, it is bumpy and lumpy and scarred and ugly, really. And it's amazing what a coat of stuff will do just to even everything out and make it look better. This side I've sanded down so it's a little bit duller, and then this is the new stuff here, which you can tell is a bit more ridgy and so on. And it's kind of important, yeah, to once you've put that layer of stuff on and it's dried, then to give it a sand back, not only to make it sort of easier to kind of paint over and so on, but also just for comfort. You don't want to be rubbing against the wall and have this really extremely sharp feeling stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's just satisfying to finally cover this over. As you can see, we've finally chosen where our windows will go. And yeah, so this room should be transformed pretty quickly. Today is a big day because we have now distinct rooms. We can close this door. And now we have a bedroom, which is separate from the bathroom. And yeah, full timber door that we found on Marketplace, and a bit of a funky kind of 90s-ish diagonal design. But we figure we could do something, we're kind of thinking of a tropical theme inside this room. So, you know, this can kind of go along with that, I think. We could paint it as well. So anyways, it's good to have a little mini project for the day that comes to fruition and it's all done. Yay! Ooh-wee. Look at that light. Nice. So much light. Amazing. So I'm just working on my window installation here. I've never used the polar windows before, and they've got like a different type of system than I was using previously in the other windows. But basically there's like a little fin that's attached to the complete surround, and that is supposed to go on the outside of your house and bolt onto the framework, and then you can do the surround and stuff like that, and reveal and so on. Because of our the nature of our place, which has a just under a 50 mil kind of thick wall of fiberglass, the whole thing sort of changes for us, because if I put it on the very front of the house, then a lot of the window sort of sticks out, and I have this kind of thing that really bulges out. It's not quite the look that I want. So what I'm going to try to do is alter what I've been given here, and hopefully it'll work. So I'm just attaching these thin timber pieces to the metal. And then I'll cut the hole based on the size of all that, kind of with the new surrounds on it, and the window should sit perfectly in the middle of the wall, and then I can basically build the surround around that, bolt it into this timber, and at the same time put the surround around the window, which will then hold it in place from both sides, which should be quite secure, I think. So yeah, hopefully it'll work. All right, just doing the inside trim. Going to be doing sort of a picture frame style kind of outer rim with a sill. And yeah, basically I was pretty happy with how the exterior was actually holding really quite strong to the special frame that I made to hold the window in. It feels very secure there. So this will be just an aesthetic trim. And with that, this window is done. Hooray! Didn't quite get the color the way I wanted it to. I wanted it to match with some of these other colors like the door and so on a little bit better, a bit of a warmer color, but yeah, anyways, done. There's still another one to go, which unfortunately the supplier gave me a damaged piece, so I couldn't do it at the same time as this one, which is kind of what I wanted to do, cut all the pieces for the exact same window twice. But anyways, one done. We have light and beauty in this room now. And even the sill gets a bit of treatment. And I'm about to do some painting here and finish the texture on this wall.
But first, hey, it's time to talk about my toilet.
Little Miss Riding Hood here. Yes, I got a pretty hat today, I just realized. Just working on my toilet. Some toilet box that we're going to be sitting on when we go to the loo in P2. So here is my plan. Got a little, it's a pretty straightforward box. It just has a couple of considerations. So as you can see here, I've built the shell of the box. And it's got a high side on it because we've got an adjacent a high floor where the bathtub's going to be. So it is just compensating that so that I have the same sort of trim edge on all sides. So when the floor goes up, butts up to it, it'll kind of look proportionate to all the other thicknesses. So not too many other considerations. I'll just be writing out the inside pieces here to allow for some of this metal trim to go inside, so it matches up with this other cabinet over here, which is our vanity basin. And so yeah, we just wanted to sort of have a bit of a similar look. And other than that, I just had to work out heights and stuff like that, proper heights for the toilet itself, just to make sure that obviously you're sitting at a correct height, and then it matched up with all these kind of weird little pots and things that I've bought as going to be, which is going to be the inside of the toilet, which I'll show when I get to that, a little more detailed. All right, next up we've got our buckets. So these are just some cheap polypropylene buckets, I think, whatever they're made of. And we are cutting the bottoms off of all three of them. And I'm also cutting a hole in this one. And we'll see how that all pieces together to make our toilet. All right, so we end up with some nice clean buckets. So this one will be going inside of here, and we're going to have a little plate that will bridge the gap of these two things. Now, I mean, the reason why I'm using these is because they're like $2 each, and they're like, you know, super strong. And anyways, so yeah, so we've got the bottom one fitting into the floor, which fits into the existing shaft here. And then this one will fit into there. And then the toilet seat goes on top. Excuse me. And then this one is the pee toilet, which just is basically a bucket that goes straight into the funnel base. So I just have to bury that into the floor and then connect it underneath. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty rudimentary, but when you look in the toilet, you'll just see a black hole one way or another that you're peeing or pooping into. And it should be fairly straightforward for keeping clean. And yeah, there's this, I mean, it's just kind of lucky actually. Some of these things, like this one here, this bucket just happens to fit absolutely perfectly, even without securing it in, fits perfectly into that space. So we don't have to worry about, you know, things getting stuck on the sides. And yeah, again, it should be easy to clean. So there's the little piece over top as a little skirt. And then that fits over top of this. So then this will be glued to the top of the piece down below. Fits nice. And now we have a nice long drop shaft there for poo-poo station. One thing that's not always the most fun is having to cut or do things when you don't have the special tools to do it with. In this instance, I'm having to cut through the floor. Luckily, it's just through fiberglass and timber, but I've got an awkward beam that I'm trying to get out of the way here because I have to fit this funnel into this slot, and it's in the way. So I've got my handy dandy drill with this kind of wood cutting bit, which has actually come in handy a lot. So I'm quite happy about that. If you have a look at the composting toilet special edition that I did, you'll be able to sort of see why and how we've kind of used this system, and yeah, the benefits, pros and cons of composting toilets. So as part of the toilet install, which is going to be coming out of this little spot here, and then obviously this will have the regular bin system, but out of the liquids, we're going to be going to this here, which is going to be my reed bed. So using this hose, we'll go from our little spigot here to the reed bed, and it'll just be gravity fed with water, and fertilizing it with the nitrogen rich urine, and yeah, should feed those reeds really well. Bit of a suspicious shaped plot and size plot, to be honest. Could be making the neighbors a little bit nervous if they're wondering what I'm doing. All right, just finishing this another rustic piece of furniture. As you might see in past videos, there's a theme, a common thread of rustic furniture or rustic feeling things, because woodworking is not my forte. I have tried to do it properly at times, and yeah, it's better if I just make it kind of rough looking. Yeah, when it comes to woodwork, I'm not a good how-to video person. You just kind of get the final result. Anyways, it's getting close. It's not the final yet, but you can see here that I've got the seats in place. I've put the trim on and so on. It's pretty much just needing a coat of stain and something to seal it, make it sort of hygienic. Pop on the seats, and away we go for this part of it anyway. Yeah, you'll see that there's these kind of indentations that I chose to make because I wanted the seats to sort of sit flat so there wasn't a gap. I guess with composting toilets, you want to shut out any kind of chance that there'll both be smells escaping, if there is any, and also insects trying to get inside your toilet or out of your toilet. So yeah, I think with normal toilet seats, you probably want an air gap. I guess that's probably to help it breathe or whatever. Or maybe the gases, need to escape. I'm not sure how that works. Anyways, so yeah, this is where we're at. And we've got a nice little coat of cedar colored stain and varnish on here, so that'll look nice. And thought we go matchy-matchy with the door, so it kind of is the same color as the other side now, which is nice. And then we'll stain this one, I think, to match as well. Ta-da! Nice. Just need the front, obviously, but pretty much done aesthetically anyways. So it's time to do a little bit of painting. Seems kind of premature to be doing this already, but as you might have noticed from my P1 videos, I don't have a workshop or a shed even, so everything gets stored inside. So in order for me to kind of move on to this wall, I've got another window to put in, and obviously I want to get rid of all this stuff on the wall and fix it up and get it ready to be rendered and painted. Then I have to transfer all this stuff inside to the other side. And I mean, I really want to kind of reduce this. This is kind of becoming almost unnecessary now that we're getting close to the end of the project. So I really just need to cull. The rest of it will get sort of moved over and then I can work on that side. But in the meantime, I'm gonna paint this wall. And as you can see, I've done the render finish on that kind of back wall, which I think it looks already a lot tidier. And so that just needs to be sanded, and then I can get on to painting all that. So we're using this kind of beigey paint, which I've put a little bit on so far. So painting over this kind of textured wall actually is not as easy as you think. It doesn't go on as smoothly as normal paint. You probably use more paint as well. And yeah, it just takes more effort and time to kind of really get into all these little grooves and just go over the surface. It's just not that smooth. But I think the end result looks great. On top of that, I'm using very lumpy 2-year-old paint, which is right at the bottom of the bucket at the moment. So that is posing an extra challenge. All right, you're in luck. You don't have to watch me do any painting through the wonders of editing. And here we go, all finished. Even did the inside of the bathroom. Look at that. Hooray! Looking good. So as I mentioned before, now that we've got this done, I can move all this junk off of this wall. I'm going to cull it down as well, get that window knocked in, and get that wall looking like this. It's quite the transformation compared to what it looked like back then, as you can see in this old video. Really, just taking away that blue just changes everything. I think where the difference really will happen is when I get this roof done, because I've got overhead beams planned with thatch in between, so it'll kind of tie all this texture and kind of rustic-y kind of holiday feel together. All right, so I've rearranged the room. I've now exposed the room to the next stage of the build. And yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode. We've sort of seen a lot of progress, I think, in this space. Still so much to do. It always looks like I'm making progress, and then I reveal things that need to be done. Ceiling, wall, window, bathroom windows, plinth for bathtub, flooring, blah, blah, blah. Anyways. For future episodes, and I hope you've enjoyed watching a little bit of progress here in P2, and yeah, looking forward to showing you the finished product one of these days in all its glory. Thanks for joining me, and yeah, if you're building anything yourself, then please put links in the comments, or comment on anything that I've done here if you've got a better idea or if something has helped you in your project. All right, thanks everybody, and be well.